Okay, I had to come back to do this. I just did this video in Kickstarter's video thing, and I love it. I love using it, but I couldn't get it to work. I'm sure it's, I mean, the folks at Kickstarter are awesome. I don't know what's going on. I've normally had a lot of success with it, but just this one time I couldn't get it up, and this was an important message for the backers of Backpack Barge 2.0. And I wanted to make sure they got it, and I wasn't sure that when the video was going to get processed, I don't know the exact terminology, through Kickstarter, or if it even was, because I had problems with the previous one. It seems like I might have broken it or something. I don't know. I'm not that good at some of this stuff, but I had to do the same video here. So if you already saw, if the video in Kickstarter does work, then apologies, you're going to get a lot of this exact same stuff in this one. So you could probably just watch one or the other, because these are both basically the same. Okay, I had an interesting discovery this past week when Cameron and I were working on some boats, and we knew we were going to make some, there were two of the colors we hadn't made yet. One of them was translucent and one of them was green. Other than that, I think we had a sample of them. We had a yellow, an orange, blue, black, and we had white from Backpack Barge 1.0, which is a little different, but roughly is, I mean, it looks about the same. And there's some major structural improvements that have been made since version 1.0. But the translucent one and the green one, nobody's actually seen in an actual boat yet. We've showed the sample ones, but we didn't actually show the boat. So we haven't yet made a green one. However, look at the translucent one. It's beautiful. And I mean, I haven't taken this one out on the water yet, but I did some little tests with it using some lights underneath and some different color felts and stuff to try to get an idea of how this thing is going to look in the water. And it's really interesting because the other boats, all of them are flat color. The black, the white, red, they're all flat colors. This one with the translucency, I thought it would be like I didn't think it would be a cool boat at all, but there's something different about this one that I think if some of you, hopefully there's not a lot of people that would want to change translucent, but a couple people already ordered translucents. And now that you can see it, you may decide that you want a solid color instead, or some people with a solid color may decide they want a translucent boat, or they might want a green boat, because I hope to show both of these outside, hopefully next week, because I have some other production stuff that we're dealing with right now, and then I was going to make the green one. We'll set them up. The interesting thing about this, so here, if anybody's ever seen my business card, it's translucent. I've always had an interest in translucent materials. See, it's translucent. You know, from close up, you can. It's a calendared surface rather than clear, and that diffuses the light. So I've always thought the translucent's rather pretty. This seems to have some of the same. Initially, the reason why I thought this wouldn't necessarily be a good boat is because I was thinking more in terms of the genuinely transparent boats by Clear Blue Hawaii, and those are just amazing. You can paddle out there and you can literally look down at the fish. This isn't like that. If the fish come right up to the boat, you can kind of see their noses. That's about it. But it's not about necessarily seeing the fish. It's also about seeing color. And you can see the dark color of the water, the bright color of the water through the bottom, and the sunlight kind of dispersing through the gunnels if it's coming off your bow or off your stern. And you can see the color of the stuff you have inside the boat. So if you have some dry bags in there, and you can see if it's up on the grass a little bit, you see the color of the grass coming through. So it's a very, unlike some of the other solid colors, it's a very changing and active kind of process. It's very interesting. And when I get it together, when I put this together along with the green one, this is already ready to ship, but I'm going to hold on to this one so that I can show the rest of you in case more of you want the translucent one. And a few people have ordered translucent ones already. Okay. We made a structural change in the boat. We found when it was going from lakes to rivers that there was some change. So on a lake, the only fluid you have going through the two, the outer hull and the inner hull, so basically you have two channels along the side. The only fluid that you have going through there is on a lake is just the motion as you paddle, which is not, or row, I should say. People aren't paddling on lakes so much. as you row. So that was typically about 3 knots, and it wasn't a significant enough flow. At most 3 knots. I would say maybe even 2 knots. Okay, given that this is a displacement boat. Well, actually, what is it? The length of this boat is 54 inches. You know, I'm gonna have to come back to this. I'm curious what the theoretical hull speed of this boat is. Let's see. The length is. Oh, you know what? Let's go back here. Okay, here I'll use my calculator. Okay. Let's see here. The length of this boat. So we have. Oh, I need to convert pad. Okay, so we're going to take the length of the boat is 54 inches. Oh, I take it back. I don't need to convert to metric. I was about to. So we have 54 divided by 12. So we're at 4.5. So the water line of the boat is, length at water line is about 4.5 feet. So we take the square root of that. And for this square-shaped hull, we're not going to really get a good 1.3 coefficient. It's more like, as we found, about 1.24. So we're going to multiply that times about 1.24. And we get 2.63 is the theoretical. I mean, you can inch it up a little bit. I think you'll probably see 3 knots. You will not go much above 3 knots. Okay, this is a displacement boat, and for a small rowboat, 3 knots is what you're going to get. That's just the reality. It's not a high-performance ocean kayak, unfortunately. But you're going to manage 3 knots. So on a lake at 3 knots, oh, well, I gotta take this. Hold on one second. Hello. Hello. All right. Couldn't take that. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Wait. Okay. If I get that same call, I'm gonna put it on hold. I thought it was critically important, but I'm thinking now it can wait a few minutes. Okay, so we're finding out in the river that the flow between the 2 hulls is sufficient enough that it's spreading the hulls a little bit. So this is as far as we can tell, a somewhat nonlinear effect, because if it goes a little faster, then it doesn't, and if it goes a little slower, then it doesn't. It happens only at a few defined water speeds through that hull. That has to do with the turbulence and the Reynolds number of the system. We could chart it rather easily because the Reynolds number, we think, as those hulls are separating, is somewhere around 3,000, maybe a little higher. And it's also a linear differential equation, because as the hulls separate, that changes the Stokes property of that flow. So it's changing where the Reynolds number is going to be. So it's nonlinear. It's not a simple problem to figure out, but that didn't matter in this particular case, because we added a feature to the boat that solves the problem in rivers. So in rivers, we were finding the hulls were separating just a little bit. It wasn't really a major problem. There wasn't no water coming in, but we felt it wasn't keeping enough structural rigidity to the boat. So we added an additional ring on the outer hull. And as you slide in the gunnel stiffeners, you'll also go through that other ring, and then it will hold the 2 hulls together so they don't come apart as much. It gives you the additional stiffness, and especially if you're in somewhat faster river conditions, you'll be less likely, if you're paddling with a spray skirt and you go through some particularly difficult stretches, you'll be less likely to get on any water in there. Okay, so that just makes a more integral gunnel, I should say, because now it has that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has the full 6 layers, as opposed to, it's actually not 6, actually 12, given the nature of the material we're using. So it has the full 12 layers, as opposed to when they separate a little bit, you're getting kind of a fractional amount. So that has been a change we made with the boats, because our testing has until recently has largely been lakes, and we're only now starting to really get the hang of what's happening with these boats and rivers. Our friend Cruz took one of these red boats out. It was awesome. He brought it back. It was all scratched up and like been on the rocks and stuff. I was like, I want it to be more messed up, man. I want to get him a boat. Very good kayaker. He put on a dry suit, went to Clear Creek just a couple of weeks ago, and this was not a high performance river kayak. I'm not going to pretend it is, but he used some high quality and efficient high quality and efficient graphite and carbon fiber ores. So good, like really good kayaking ores. Where are we here? Okay, and he came back with some results. We modified the boat a little bit based on what he said, just some tweaks. We looked at some wear points that we could reinforce a little bit. That helped, and that was helpful. So I think the takeaway on this is next week, hopefully middle of the week, ideally, I'm going to be outside, hopefully on a good day. I'll try to get some pictures of the green one and of the translucent one. And if anybody wants to switch around or change their colors, let me know. I can't guarantee it. I will try. Okay. If there's like a run on it or the image starts getting too crazy, I'm not going to be able to manage it. I'll have to stick with your first choice or your second choice colors. But if there's a chance, if you decide to change your mind to a different color, I will try to work with you. Okay. You are very, very important to us. You are our Backpack Barge 2.0 saints, and we are deeply indebted to all of you. I will do what I can for you guys. Okay, I will do what I can. All right. The other thing is we're coming up with some interesting color combinations. So, for instance, Cameron and I last week did a black and yellow one, and then we also want to try a yellow and black one. It's yellow and black on the outside versus the inside versus the outside. So the order matters, how we say it. But the ideal thing is we're going to try to produce a couple of these per week and show them to you. And if anybody wants one of those ones that's ready to ship instead of the one you picked, please let us know. It would be more of a collectible color. It won't exactly be like the ones you've already looked at because there'll be a mixture of colors. Let's see if I can show you on this one. So rather than being a solid color, this one we made is a black outer hull and a yellow inner hull. It has a very interesting look, almost like a bumblebee. And I know there's colleges out there that have certain color combinations that we may be able to work with you to see if we can make a double boat color combo for your favorite university or something like that. Just let us know. Because if you want to mix, say, the orange and the yellow or the blue and the white, that would be a sweet flag, wouldn't it? Blue and white, that's a lot of countries. It's Greece, Israel. Who else has blue and white? France has blue, white, and God, I'm sorry. I should know my flags better. They're all so beautiful. I used to study my flags so carefully. I mean, you might even notice that the logo for the new product. Oh, you guys don't know about that yet. Sorry, I didn't mean to show you that. If you notice, this is the logo for Backpack Barge. It is a very flag-like logo. Geez, tip my hat on that. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about that. Where's the logo for Backpack Barge? Here, let me go get that one. There we go. Okay, all right. Okay, so the logo is very flag-like, and maybe by mixing colors, if you have a country that you wanted to maybe show respect with a certain color combination, a certain island nation, perhaps, say Tonga. I don't know. Tonga needs to get back in touch with me, but I have been remiss because I've been so busy. He's a good guy. Tonga, if you're seeing this, still love you, babe. Let me know what's up, man. You come on up here. I'm going to try to get a Tongan boat together for you guys, okay? Because you're friends. And I got to look at the camera because you guys are friends. And we have lost touch, but that is through no fault of your own. That is because I've just been so busy dealing with Backpack Barge. Okay, coming up when you get the message, we're going to hook you up. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so if there's a certain color combination you want, say red and white or green and yellow might be kind of cool. That's a cool environmental combination. But if there's something like that, please let us know. I will do my best to work with you, okay? I'm realizing that this is kind of, I'm getting a little emotional about this first ever big sale of the Backpack Barge 2.0 because of you early backers. I want this to be as special of an encounter through the Kickstarters we can possibly have. There honestly weren't that many backers in this campaign, and that makes it even better. Because of that, I can now do this special stuff. Okay, it wasn't a minimal amount. I'm not complaining. I'm happy with the amount of people that backed it, but I'm looking at the opportunity. We wouldn't be able to do custom builds like this if there were a ton more backers. We can do custom builds like this because there aren't that many. Okay, and because there aren't that many, I want to take advantage of this and see if I can make this experience even more special for you guys. Okay, so please let me know, because probably the next Kickstarter we won't have this opportunity, and it'll probably have to be a few ticked off colors, you know, that kind of fit and we already know work with each other. So okay, let us know. I want to try to make this a really special event. Okay, I think we're good. Thanks very much.